And at the sixth hearing of President Park's impeachment trial, the Constitutional Court reviewed evidence submitted by prosecutors and said only items a witness has confirmed in the presence of his or her legal counsel are admissible. Kwon Jangho tells us more.
The Constitutional Court said Tuesday that it has reviewed and decided on what it considers as admissible evidence regarding the impeachment trial of President Park Geun-hye. This comes as a sheer amount of records, devices and statements from and owned by witnesses have been exposed to the public prior to being legally scrutinized. The court thus ruled that it will not consider as evidence statements made by witnesses when their representing lawyers were not present. The ruling also applies to the 17 notebooks belonging to former presidential aide An Chong-bum, comprising up to 400 pages, from which only some parts that have been confirmed by An to have been written himself will be considered as evidence. The same principle applies to the phone conversation recordings of former presidential aide Chung Ho-sung and the statements made by President Park's longtime confidant Choi Soon-sil when she was questioned by prosecutors as a criminal suspect. The court has also deemed inadmissible items contained on the tablet PC allegedly owned by Choi, with the exception of the president's itinerary for overseas trips. The notebooks and phone conversation records are suspected of containing orders from the president in regard to two government-linked foundations allegedly run by Choi and are considered critical in determining whether the president pressured conglomerates to donate funds to the foundations in question.
Compared to the impeachment trial of former President Roh Moo-hyun, there are many witnesses involved in this trial because there are 5 accusations made against President Park Geun-hye. Despite this, Park's impeachment trial is expected to last the same period it took the court to rule on the case of the late President Roh, since the justices are speeding up court proceedings by having not the usual 2 but 3 trial hearings a week.
The court hearings for Ko Young-tae, a close associate of Choi Soon-sil and the former director of the Blue K, and Ru Sang-young, a former Blue K department head, have been rescheduled for a week from Wednesday. Kwon Jangho, Arirang News.